Hey y'all, and welcome to Political. My name is Brian, and Tom Cotton just wipes the floor with this CBS host. He looks him straight into the eyes and says, "Do your job." This is absolutely fantastic. But before we dive into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor, Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have the cure to Biden inflation, but more on that later. Now, let's get back into the video.
Do you think he's underestimating the potential strength of the Harris campaign now that she's at least brought the campaign back to even?
No, I think we always knew this campaign was going to be a close race. But remember, she's only been the nominee for 2 weeks now. She hasn't answered a single question, not one single question by the media, Ed. She's only had one single unscripted moment Thursday night at Andrews Air Force Base, welcoming those hostages back. And she served up the kind of incomprehensible word salad for which she's become famous. When she has to encounter the media, and I'm sure you're going to insist that she does, she's going to have to answer for things like why she wants to eliminate oil and gas production in this country, why she wants to ban gas-powered cars, why she wants to confiscate private firearms. So we knew this race was going to be close all along, whoever the Democrats wanted to put up against President Trump. But Kamala Harris has only been the nominee for 2 weeks and hasn't answered a single question. When the American people get a better look at her and her radical positions, I think you're going to see that they don't want her to continue the Biden-Harris legacy.
I appreciate that you're critical of her not doing more interviews and engaging in more unscripted events. You've just done a decent job there of explaining the potential policy differences between the former president and the vice president. But Trump doesn't do that himself.
No,
he
Ed, I dispute that.
But he wants, let's hold on a second. What earned him the most attention this week? Questioning whether or not the vice president is black. That became the big focus on him this week, instead of those conversations about policy that you suggest should be the focus of the campaign.
No, Ed, I dispute that. I watched his conversation at the National Association of Black Journalists. I watched last night at his rally in Georgia. The vast majority of that time is spent contrasting his record of peace and prosperity and the Biden-Harris record of high inflation and a wide-open border and war and chaos around the world. I know you played a clip of him airing differences with other Republicans, but the vast majority of it was what you showed at the beginning of this show when he talks about Kamala Harris' record of being a radical trans activist or wanting to ban cows or ban oil and gas production. That's where President Trump's focus has been throughout this campaign. And as the American people start getting answers from Kamala Harris, which, as you said, I'm sure you're going to insist upon. You got shamed by the White House last month for having the temerity to ask about Joe Biden's age and infirmity. They're not going to like what they hear. So I think it's incumbent upon the media to hold Kamala Harris to the same standard that every other nominee who earned their nomination has ever been held to. Donald Trump in 2016, Barack Obama in 2008, they all had to go through more than a year of testing at town halls and VFWs and debates because they earned the nomination. Kamala Harris had it given to her. For 2 weeks, she's dodged the press. She can't dodge the press for another 13 weeks.
Are you personally okay with him questioning whether she's black?
Ed, he wasn't saying that what matters is how she identifies as her race. He explicitly said he didn't care. One was fine, the other was fine, both was fine. She identifies as a dangerous San Francisco liberal. That's the danger to the American people.
I sometimes forget how Tom Cotton can be on a completely different level. Just this calm, level-headed, simple answer, and then he drops a bomb right at the end. That she's a dangerous San Francisco leftist. Oh boy, there's a lot to unpack about that. There's a reason why black men hate Kamala Harris. She is in her position because of her race, not because of her abilities. And they know her record as a prosecutor and as district attorney for this attorney general for the state of California. The working class black man has friends that have been basically had the system thrown at them. They know what these policies are like. Kamala Harris has abused her power nearly at every single stage that she's gotten to. And she enjoys it. She loves it. You can tell, you can just see it in her eyes. And you can definitely hear it in her cackle. So black men hate Kamala Harris, and that's why this line of attack works. Black men have not been voting for Republicans. They typically vote Democrat. That might change this election. The working class man looks at Kamala Harris and they indeed see a DEI hire. And then when they hear her, they know she's a DEI hire. How can you sit there and tell me that Kamala Harris has your best intentions at heart? Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on, and the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. I would not believe it for a second. I've grown up in politics. I've seen the workings. I know how people make the backroom deals. That's where she thrives. But she is terrible with the average person, and the media is covering for her. She has basically been the presidential nominee for a little over 2 weeks now. And the honeymoon is over. It's officially over. No one's given her scrutiny yet, but we saw the high watermark of the Kamala Harris campaign. It was last week. The media honeymoon is over, and now the voters are going to actually have a look at her. And when they do, they're not going to like what they see. I've already described one huge portion of the Democrat coalition that's going to go, I ain't voting for this. I have friends that have been put away because of policies that she abused. I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. That's going to be the mindset of some people. Then there's the white working class, and even the upper middle class. They're going to turn on CNN, they're going to turn on NBC. Sometimes they'll turn on Fox News, and they'll see what Kamala has to say, and they're just going to look at their spouse, look at their friends, go left and right and go, no, we do not like this. She doesn't give off good vibes. Her personality is trash. And the only reason that she is being put forward at all was because after the Summer of Love in 2020, Joe Biden promised a black female candidate. And Stacey Abrams, he originally wanted Elizabeth Warren because she's white. He was originally wanting Stacey Abrams, but Stacey Abrams asked for too much power. He laughed in her face, told her no, and she said she won't support his campaign. Which, thank God. I am a Georgia boy. I know what Stacey Abrams actually is. She has ruined the careers of people down under the Gold Dome. She was terrible for her own party. Her own party members hated her guts. They hated the fact that they had to vote for her. I'm so glad Kemp just took her behind the woodshed. That was great. Regardless, we are stuck with Kamala Harris as a candidate. And when I say we, I really mean the Democrats. We're not stuck with her, thank God. But the Democrats have put themselves into a terrible position where you took an aging man who has clear dementia, who basically needs to be on a porch, licking his ice cream cone and playing with his grandkids, including the one that Hunter had with the stripper. He needs to be put to pasture. They realized that, and he was already deeply unpopular. Now that there's a likely stock market crash, and Kamala Harris now has the bag, I'm happy that we get an even worse candidate to go up against, because there are 3 people who are guaranteed to lose to Trump: Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Kamala Harris. Which makes me worried. What are they going to do at the DNC? That is something we'll have to wait on. Meanwhile, Tom Cotton is telling MSNBC to do its job and start actually looking into Kamala Harris's actual policies, which for the most part have been complete and total failures. So that's what the American people are going to see, and that's why the line of attack has been against her race. Not because she's Indian, not because she's black, but because she refuses to be either. That's the reality of the situation. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.